Welcome to techsteppers.com. Today I'm going to demonstrate you how to install Oracle Database 12C, and I'm going to show you how we install it on operating system, that is the Linux operating system, Red Hat. I'm going to use. So like once we start with the system requirements, as you can see here, the minimum system requirement, like it should be run level 3 or 5, the display settings, then the storage requirement, the RAM requirement, everything is given here. And in my demo I'm going to show you a standalone installation, and then here are the kernel parameters that are very important for any operating system. So before proceeding for installing the database, we need to set up all these parameters, and also I will show you in further slides like how to fix all these requirements. So once we download a software and place that on the server, the step we need to require is to just start with the installer. So here you can see that we are going to install it using graphical installation. Next time in my next video I will be showing you the silent installation. So for graphical installation on your server, you need to set up the X window, that is X11 window, and you can see here XAuth. Then I'm adding it to the restricted user, and we are going to install this database using the user techs_db01. You can have a different user, and accordingly you need to set up the XAuth. So you can see here this XAuth feature, and then we are exporting the magic cookie. You can watch my another video where I have demonstrated how to set up the XAuth. So just please watch my another video, then you will come to know how to set up the XAuth. So once we have XAuth set up, we have all the requirement on the system level. What we do is we just cd into the database directory where we have downloaded database, and then we run the installer, as you can see here. Then the installer is launched, and we just select here create and configure a database. So that is the basic setup we are going to set. It will create and configure a database also for us. So that means once we have system up and running, it will bring up the database also. Then we select here the desktop class. So desktop and server class, the difference between these two is like just the hardware we have. Desktop class we opt if we have minimal hardware. That is the case here in my demonstration. If you have a server hardware, then you can select the server class. Then the important page now we are here on, where we need to provide the Oracle base directory structure, then the software location, database location file, and then the important one is global database name. So this will be the database name for us. Once our instance is up, then it will bring up this database with techdb01 in our case. And also we need to provide password here, that is the sysdba password. And don't forget this password, but in case if you forgot the password, it's easy to set, and maybe that is something I will demonstrate you in my another video. And you can see here an error message, so it is complaining about the directory structure. So make sure that before starting the installation, you at least have this directory structure created in order to get your DB home and all those locations within that particular directory. Then here is the inventory location. Once we click on next page, then click on next page. So here it checks for the minimal requirement from the server side for database installation, and you can see here it's showing here hard limit is not up to the mark, so it's failed. So if we have any check failed, we need to fix that properly. And similarly we also need to fix the warnings. You can see here kernel parameters, you can see here packages, so that means we have missing packages on the server. Once we fix those things one by one, you can see here I run the check again. Once I fix the hard limit error, now error is gone, only warning remaining. So we need to fix all these one by one. So here are the DB specific settings that we need to fix. Once we fix all these, this is the file, that is sysctl.conf. Under this file we need to add all these entries. Then to make this pushed or published to the kernel, you need to run sbin sysctl-p command, as you can see here. Same way, this is the hard limit and soft limit that you see here. We need to set these limits as per the requirement, as I shown you on the very first page also. And here are the detailed snap of the warnings that we are having, just to take example. and it's also giving us the expected value, and it's also giving us what it has found on the server. So like we can take a judgment from here and we can put value accordingly. So then here, once we remove these things, you see here warnings are now less warnings we have. So now we also need to install all these packages. Once we do yum install, then it will install all the required packages that we need here. So as per list, you can see here yum install, and I used all the packages. So once we install these packages successfully, we need to run again, and here is another command ipcs-l that show you the memory parameters for your server which are available on your operating system. So you can match these with the requirement list. So see here, all are the kernel parameters that we need to fix. So once we fix all the warnings, all the errors, then we click next, and then we end up on the next page, which shows us the global settings for our database, inventory location, database information. So once you see everything is okay, just click next, and now the actual installation begins. So you just wait here till it reaches to 79%. Once it reaches near to 79 or 80%, it will prompt you to run two scripts as root. So as we are installing with the restricted user, we need to run these two scripts with root privileges. If you don't have root privileges, you can ask your system administrator to run these two scripts with root privileges. So you just need to provide your system administrator this path which is given here, and I will also showcase you like how we run it. So you see here, we went into the location of these two scripts, and then we run these scripts as a root user. You can see here hash, which actually is representing that we are running these scripts with a root user. Once we run it, then we click OK, and then we can see here that installation is not progressing to the next stages, database files it's copying database files, then it's showing here completion of database creation. So this is how we are progressing. Then it's showing the pluggable databases, and then finally we see a complete status, that is the finished status you can see here, and it's showing us the enterprise manager URL. So this is how you can just access now EM to have glimpse of your database. So this was the whole process to install Oracle 12c database. Thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned and keep watching my other videos also for more information on Linux, and don't forget to register yourself on www.techsteppers.com. Thank you.